Okay guys, sorry about how late this video is, but it is unavoidable. But we're getting into section 8.4, which are sum and difference formulas. Sum and difference formulas. And the first one I want to talk about is dealing with cosine, and that is cosine of alpha plus beta and cosine of alpha minus beta. And basically all we do is we just use these Greek letters just to, make some kind of, it's the same as x and y. So what we have with cosine of alpha plus beta, that formula is cosine alpha times cosine beta minus sine alpha sine beta. Okay, it's kind of weird. With the cosine alpha plus beta, you use subtraction, where if it's cosine of alpha minus beta, you use addition. So that is cosine alpha cosine beta plus sine alpha sine beta. And we could get into the proofs with that, but I'm really not all that worried about it. And what I want to do with this, and I want to find the exact value of cosine of 75. Now, to find the exact value of cosine of 75, we don't have a space on our unit circle that is 75 degrees. But we have two things that add to be the 75 degrees, 40 and 30. So it's cosine of 40 plus 30. So what we have is we have cosine 40, cosine 30. Remember, this is plus, so we subtract sine 40, sine 30. And now with this, cosine 45. Sorry, it's now when I'm doing this, it's 9:20, and I just got home and major brain fart. But anyway, it's 45 degrees. So cosine of 45 ends up being square root of 2 over 2 times cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2 minus sine of 45 is the square root of 2 over 2 times cosine of 30, which is 1/2. Okay, so now all of these are over 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, so this ends up being square root of 6 over 4 minus square root of 2 over 4. Okay, so with this is the same as the this is the same as the 1/4 of square root of 6 minus square root of 2. And that is the end of this example. Now, to establish identities, we have two. We have cosine of pi over 2 minus theta equals sine theta. Okay, which is the same thing as cosine of 90 minus theta, and that's sine theta, which makes sense because if you have cosine of 30, sine of 60 is the same as cosine of 30. So cosine of 90 minus 30 is sine of 60. Okay, and the same thing happens if we have sine of pi over 2 minus theta. This equals cosine theta. Okay, and once again, we're not going to worry about the proofs with this. But with this, we will end up, using it as we go through. Now, you know how I said with the cosine, it was if you were adding, you subtracted, and if you were subtracting, you added. With sine, the sign stays the same. So sine stays. So sine stays. Okay, there's a hidden G in between there. So if we have sine of alpha plus beta, this is equal to sine alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta. Okay, and then same if we have sine of alpha minus beta, this ends up being sine alpha cosine beta minus cosine alpha sine beta. Okay, and let's say that we have sine of 7 pi over 12. Okay, now 7 pi over 12, that's the same as 3 pi over 12, plus 4 pi over 12 is the same as 5 pi over 12, plus 2 pi over 12, and so on and so forth. But if we use that 4 pi over 12 and that 3 pi over 12, 4 pi over 12 is the same as pi over 3, and 3 pi over 12 is the same as pi over 4, which we're going to be adding together. So we're going to be using sine of pi over 3 plus pi over 4, because pi over 3 we can use in the unit circle, pi over 4 we use with the unit circle. So with this ends up being sine of pi over 3 cosine pi over 4 plus cosine pi over 3 sine pi over 4. Okay, now sine of pi over 3 is the same as the square root of 3 over 2. And cosine of pi over 4 is the same as square root of 2 over 2, looking at our unit circle, plus our cosine of pi over 3 ends up being 1/2 times sine of pi over 4 ends up being square root of 2 over 2. So this ends up being square root of 6 over 4 plus square root of 2 over 4. So just like we did in the previous one, that's the same as 1/4 square root of 6 plus square root of 2. Okay, so this is the sum and difference formula for the sine function. So with the sum and difference formulas for the tangent function, we have tangent of alpha plus beta, and this equals tangent alpha plus tangent beta all over 1 minus tangent alpha tangent beta. Okay, and if we have our tangent of alpha minus beta, we have tangent alpha minus tangent beta all over 1 plus tangent alpha tangent beta. So we have our tangent of alpha plus beta, we have our tangent of alpha minus beta. And if you look with the plus beta, the plus is on top, minus is on the bottom. And if it's minus, minus is on top, plus is on the bottom. Now with this, let's prove the identity tangent of theta plus pi equals tangent theta. We want to prove this. So, since this is tangent of theta plus pi, this ends up being tangent of theta plus tangent of pi over 1 minus tangent theta tangent pi. Okay, now with this, tangent of theta is, well, tan theta, plus tangent of pi actually is 0. Okay, over 1 minus, now tangent of theta is still tangent theta, but tangent of pi is 0, so 0 times tangent theta is 0. Okay, and so tangent of theta plus 0 is tangent theta over 1 minus 0 is 1, which is the same as just tan theta. Okay, now I know I'm not going to be there tomorrow, so the problems that I would like for you to do out of the book are on page 634 and 635. And I would like you to do numbers 21, 25, 31, 45, 53, and try 59. Now, I gave you all the odds because you can double check your answers in the back of the book. And don't forget that I have the solutions manual on the shelf over where the calculators are. And actually, that's the newer edition, so this will actually be in section 8.5 in that book. Okay. Oh, and just as an FYI, Sierra, tonight I met your parents, and they are wonderful people. And the rest of you, well, I know Corey's parents. Jay, I look forward to meeting yours. Mason, yours as well. Russell, yours as well. And Casey, yours as well. I thank you very much for your time and patience. You guys have a wonderful evening. I will post another video Thursday evening, and then we will reconvene on Friday. Have a good evening, guys.